¿Es que presente yo?
Sí.
Yo creo que ya saben quién somos.
Bueno.
Entonces no hay más presentación.
¿No? ¿Seguro?
Adrián y Adel.
¿Los chicos? De la tienda que no debe ser nombrada.
Yo creo que ya lo saben, Adel.
¿Sí? Bueno, vamos a hacer un poco de publicidad de nuestra tienda.
Vale.
¿Me invitas a Sangre de Basilisco?
Vale. ¿Este?
Perfecto, sí. Esta vez no me he equivocado.
No. Hoy
Pues,
nos toca este.
Hoy nos toca este. Espero que, bueno, hoy acabamos la serie de...
La semana Book
La
Night.
semana Book Night.
Ujú.
De entrevistas con escritores,
Ilustradores.
artistas del mundo de Harry Potter. Y hoy acabamos con la entrevista con ERIK.
ERIK
KRIEK, un ilustrador holandés.
Ujú. Y artista.
Ujú. Ha hecho las portadas de Harry Potter, el 20 aniversario.
Ujú.
Le ha dado un toque retro.
Retro. Y es muy conocido por sus trabajos de cómic, ha hecho portadas de discos, diseños en patinetes y bueno, es muy conocido. Entonces, vamos a empezar.
Intentaremos contactar con él, a ver qué tal está. Y le enviaré a ver si nos ponemos en contacto.
Can you check in? Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Yes.
I
Yes.
don't speak Spanish, so you have to do it in English. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
You were
speak English, don't worry.
in La Coruña?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's way. It's in Galicia, not?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I think I've been there when I was 16 or 17, I think.
Oh.
Interrailing. That's a long time ago.
On a holiday?
On holiday, yes.
Yes. Did you like it?
Yeah, I remember. I remember the ocean being very cold over there.
Yes.
Yes, because it was really 40 degrees sunshine, but there was nobody swimming. And remember why there was nobody swimming? Because we went to the ocean and immediately went out because it was freezing. But no, we had a lovely time, good food, and good memories. I love Spain
right.
anyway, but the north especially is beautiful. So.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And you guys run a Harry Potter shop. It's completely...
In La Coruña, yeah.
In La Coruña.
And it's completely only Harry Potter, or...
Only Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
And how's that going now with the lockdown? Is it hard?
Yes, quite hard, yes.
Yes.
We can only open in the mornings.
Okay.
In the afternoons, the shops have got to be closed because the situation isn't very good this minute.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, here in Holland we have only essential shops, and they don't consider bookshops to be essential. So all shops are only supermarkets and
Yes.
shops that sell food. So
It's necessary things.
yes,
Those
but
can be.
books are very necessary, I think. But
I think as well, but no.
Yeah.
They don't think the same here.
very weird situation, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, very difficult. Because a lot
Okay.
of things you're used to, you can't really do now. Travel, see your family. It's complicated.
I hear a distinct British accent. Are you English originally? Ah, okay. Okay.
Yes.
So you moved to Spain.
I don't speak English well, but I speak Spanish muy bien.
Very good.
Netherlands. You are
I live
from
in Amsterdam, yes.
Yes. In Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, yes.
It's a beautiful city.
Yes. Even now, because all the tourists are gone, so we get reacquainted with the city because it's empty now, so it's even more beautiful now.
Yeah.
But no, it's lovely. I like the quiet actually now, for me. But because nothing has really changed, I've been working. I draw, so I work by myself in isolation for the past 30 years. So for me, my personal situation is not so bad now.
It's the same.
So yes. But we are talking about my Harry Potter books today.
Yes.
You have some questions about it?
Yes.
I have them here. All the books I will show you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you.
This is the special
Edition.
20th anniversary edition.
Mm-hmm.
Because we only did the paperback version, the cheap version, initially, but the paperback version sold better than the regular version here in Holland. So for the 20th anniversary edition, they asked us to do them again as hardbacks. So it's the same design, but these are hardbacks.
Oh,
But they are all immediately, and we did a little. They all go in a box, all 7. So I'll show you. So there's a 20th anniversary box. It holds all 7 books. Can you see it?
Yes.
Oh. So,
Yes, beautiful design.
yes, this is new artwork I made for this box a couple of years ago. But they only printed 1,000 copies, and they were immediately sold out. So this is my personal copy. My son, this is my son's copy. I gave it to my son, but they're impossible to find. They're all sold out. So
Yes.
because I get through Instagram, I get a lot of requests from all over the world. People want to buy these, but they're impossible. They're all gone. They only did a limited run.
Yes.
But the paperbacks are still in print.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, well, they're very nice. I like it a lot. Yeah, very
yeah,
nice.
thank you. Yes, it was a lot of fun to do.
Yes.
But I have to be honest that it was really with a colleague of mine, a graphic designer, who was asked to. I shared a studio with him, and he was asked to do the covers, and he asked me to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I would have done it, I would have done it differently. But the briefing was very strict, because they didn't want any figures, any characters on the covers.
Yeah, well, that was a question somebody asked us.
Yes, because they figured that because of the movies, the imagery from the books is so. Everybody knows the books, and everybody knows boys, the little boy with the glasses, and so they wanted to do something completely different.
Yes.
So we tried different. I hadn't read the book, so I read the books, and then there's a lot of we tried to do different elements. So we have, for instance, we have fire, and we have rocks, and we have wood, because a lot of those elements return. And we try to make it more like a universal series, and also the color that really differentiates. If you have this is number 3, I think. So you can immediately see this is number 3, and this is number 1. But I always like to draw a lot of things, so I had different ideas. I want to put a Quidditch field here, and maybe someone on a broomstick flying by. But they said no, just use the sky, just use the rocks. But I try to put little details in it. For instance, this is the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes.
I don't think you see it on the paperback, but I put a window here.
Yes, I can see the window, yeah.
Yes. So I try to sneak in a little detail here and there. So just to make it more fun,
But each book you see, you recognise what one it is.
Yes.
It's got something important, yeah.
That was the idea, that you immediately recognize the color, and you color code it in your brain. You immediately know, this is number 5, this is number. Because when we did the covers, all the series was out already, and everybody had read it. So
Yes.
we were asked to do the nice price, the cheap version. So if anybody would buy it, they wouldn't buy it one issue at a time, like when it started out, but they'd buy the whole series for their kids or something. And it's still in print. They're still selling very well here in Holland. But we did it. It's almost it's more than 10 years ago that we did it. So I'm very pleased with it. And we learned from our publisher that the author J.K. Rowling, this is one of her favorite renditions of the cover. So we were very pleased with it.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were of course very happy to hear that. But it was a difficult decision for the publisher because they tried to they posted some of the early designs on Harry Potter fan sites, and everybody said no, what's this? This is not good, and now everybody thinks they're incredible. So there you go. It always goes like that. Yeah. You have to educate your audience a little bit, I think.
Yes, I think so.
But it was very fun to do, and I still consider it some of my best work.
Yes, I think they're very original. I like them a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's great that they found their way all the way to Spain, because I get a lot of requests from all over the world from Harry Potter fans. I think Harry Potter fans are a clique on social media, because I sign a book for a fan in Germany, and immediately I get requests from Australia and America. And you also sign my book. So it's lovely.
Yes,
it's great that. They are great books. And my son is 12 now, and I think he read them all. When he started out when he was 10, I think. I think he's finished them all. So, and of course he could read his father's edition. So
there's something special.
Yes, also very fun.
Yes. Well, I'm going to ask you the questions they sent us.
Yes. Okay. Yes, questions.
How was it to be asked to do the new book covers of Harry Potter for the 20th anniversary?
Well, as I explained, they weren't new. They were like the old designs from the paperbacks. I had nothing to do with it. The only thing I did was make the box. So I tried to, because all the 7 volumes go inside this box. So I wanted to be the box to look like Hogwarts Castle. That was my first sketch. But the publisher said no, because we tried to stay away from imagery. Can't you just make something like the books? And I was going, I have water, I have stone, I have fire, I have air, and maybe I don't have magic. In the end I just chose magic stars and flames and a lot of.
Yes, it looks magical.
A lot of abstract clouds and fireworks and a lot of magic going on. So it doesn't mean anything. It's just very decorative. But that was new. I did that. We did this a couple of years ago. But my colleague Rob Westendorp, who was the graphic designer, he redid all the covers.
Okay.
But using the original artwork we made for the paperbacks. But it's a different format, and it's slightly bigger. So you had to tweak it a little bit to make it fit. But apart from that, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
Yeah, well, apart from being hardbacks, of course.
Yes. Okay.
But that's very technical, It's of course we didn't do the embossing, but that's very specific technically, On the paperbacks we did a lot of double embossing and all sorts of things, nice little metallic inks but that's his department. That's not really my department, because I just draw. So I'm not a graphic designer. So.
Right.
But your question was if I liked it. But of course I love doing stuff like this. I'm a huge fantasy fan myself, and I always love to this kind of subject matter just draws itself, because there's so much going on. So it's only a matter of choosing what to draw. It's never an idea of there's so many ideas, like hundreds of ideas. So in this case it was very good to have a tight art direction, because otherwise I would still be working on sketches probably, because there's so much material you can work with. But of course I would have loved to do an illustrated version also. But sadly, illustrated books in Holland are,
No.
no, not very popular. So also they don't want to pay you. So it always has to be cheap.
Yes.
And also because there's an issue with Warner Brothers. They have all the Harry Potter rights, the copyrights worldwide. And then there's an enormous amount of rules now. If you have anything to do with Harry Potter, you have to use the logo. You have to use specific logo. You can't tamper with it. And also, if you want to draw the figures from the movie, it has to be the movie figures, you know. So there's a lot of that's a bit of a shame, really. A lot of creative freedom has been lost that way. But that's the way things goes. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, how it works sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's such a worldwide phenomenon, so I understand.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to have been a part of it, and I still love him. I'm still. Sometimes I think I feel a bit about older work, but I think these are really, because we chose these designs. I think they really withstand the time very well. I think they age very well.
I think it cut off. No, you're there. Oh, it stopped. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you see me?
I think it stopped. Yeah, I think it was the connection stopped a minute.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I can see you. I can see you and hear you fine.
Perfect.
Yeah. I think everybody is home and everybody's Netflixing, so the Wi-Fi here goes bad if everybody is putting on Netflix at the same time. It happens. Yes.
It can probably happen here as well.
Yeah.
ERIK, you are a Harry Potter fan?
To say I'm a fan, that's a bit big. But I saw the movies, and then after, when I had to work on these books, I read the books, and I really prefer the books because I really enjoyed them actually. But to say I'm a fan, it goes a bit far. I think it's a very clever. It's a very clever way of stealing a lot of ideas from other people. It's like a mix of Roald Dahl, Enid Blyton, and a bit of Neil Gaiman. But of course, what makes it genius that she all put it all together in such a way. And the fun thing, of course, is that the publisher in Holland is a very small, tiny publisher. And they've made millions with these books, and nobody saw anything in them, is it? Because I know the guy personally, Jacob Groot. He has a small publishing house in Amsterdam. Mm-hmm. And I think his wife said, you have to do this. Because he was not interested. And his wife said, you have to do this, because if you don't do this, you're crazy. You know, and all the big publishers in Holland had said no to Harry Potter, and then, you know, it became what it became, and you know, he's laughing now because he's still a small publisher, but this is really has been his his biggest seller ever. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot goes for a lot of publishers in the world, I think. So that only goes to show you can never tell if something becomes bigger of a hit. But I think the key ingredients here are that I think because the book begins so because his parents get killed. No spoilers intended, but everybody has read it. But sorry. But in the first page, his parents get killed, and that is a fantastic start for a children's book, I think, because it gives the book so much urgency and so much tempo. And what of course is a brilliant idea is that you start reading them when you're 11 or 10, and you grow. I know a lot of friends that read them exactly at the right age, between 11 and 18 years old, and it's exactly you grow with Harry each year. Yes, I think that is brilliant, absolutely fantastically done, and the story becomes more complicated and darker each issue. So I really like that. But I like
the with the story. Yeah.
The story, yes. But I also like the characters a lot. That is something that's better in the books than in the movies. All the typical strange teachers at school and all the strange characters.
Yeah.
So that's really, I think that's really English. The way I mean, a boarding school like that is something we don't know in the Netherlands. I mean, that's really Enid Blyton. That's really an English tradition. Mm-hmm. So I think that's and of course that as a child you grow up and you are special. So every child wants to be special. Every child wants to be a wizard. So I think that those ingredients make it what it is, and I think that's something either you like it or you don't really like it. But I think there's no middle ground. Mm-hmm. But to say I like them, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of anything. Well, maybe Star Wars, but that's a different story. Because I was 11 when I saw Star Wars. Yes, for me that is the biggest thing in my life because I was 11. So, but if I would have been 11 when Harry Potter was around. I would have been a very big fan. I'm sure of that. So as a children's series, it's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Have you seen Fantastic Beasts?
The movies, you mean?
Yes, all the books. You read the books?
No, haven't read the books. I saw the movies with my son.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But didn't really. My son liked it, but I have a problem with all movies now because it's such a CGI fest, and I grew up in the 70s and 80s, so I like I like it when special effects were still special, but now you can do anything, and it becomes so tedious after a while. The first lockdown here in March last year, we watched all the Marvel movies on Disney Plus with me and my son, and I found it very hard to stay awake because they're incredibly long and boring. But my son, of course, is 12, so he loves it. So I'm an old guy, what can I say? I'm a dinosaur. But yeah.
You like Back to the Future, Goonies?
Oh yeah, but I'm very pleased that my son. We watch a lot of classic movies from my youth with my son, and he likes them. Some movies are so powerful. I Back to the Future, I think we watched that when he was 5, and he watched it 3 times back to back, all 3 movies. He just finished the movie and started again. He just loved it. Mm. And the same goes with the Star Wars movies. He loves Empire Strikes Back the best. That's his favorite. And if you watch all 9 now, it's still the most powerful of the series. It's so good. Yes. I think your husband will agree.
Yes.
Star Wars fan, one Star Wars fan to another. So that is something that is really that warms the heart as a true fan. So I don't know, but they will probably remake all the Harry Potter movies in a couple of years. It must be. Because the movies, I don't know, they're from the 90s, and if you watch for instance, the first couple of movies, all the special effects are so dated, and I think they will harvest money from this for the next 100 of years. Sadly that's the way of the world, but I think they're already rebooting this whole series.
Yeah, I think they want to do a series or something, I heard.
I don't know. Probably Disney will buy the whole thing from Warner Brothers.
Yeah, well...
things like this are always so big and so much money involved. So.
Yes.
I'm just a humble artist, so I don't really...
We don't know either.
I can't really be bothered with all that crap, I like the books. So.
Right. Do you know if J.K. Rowling had to approve your sketches?
No. Because contractually, I think I don't know exactly how it works, but I think all the publishing houses all over the world have a certain amount of creative freedom. Well, they used to. Well, we did these covers in 2009 already. So I think now it's different because I told you earlier about Warner Brothers. But I think they only said you have to use the logo. So the specific Harry Potter logo from the movies.
Yes.
So that was not negotiable.
Okay.
It had to be that logo. Because of course my colleague is graphic designer, so he wanted to do something else. But that was not allowed. So
It wasn't
that was the rest was okay.
Okay.
So no, we didn't need any approval. But like I said, in the end, Mrs. Rowling really liked them. So we got that feedback from her literary agent through our publisher. Not personally. We didn't speak to her personally, of course, but
yes.
But still, it's nice to hear one's work is appreciated.
Oh yes. Yes. Especially coming from the top.
Yes, of course. It's always good.
Yeah. How many sketches did you do of each cover?
I don't really remember, but it was a lot. And of course, like I said, I had to remove a lot of things because being an illustrator, I immediately want to draw dragons and I want to draw figures on broomsticks, and but I had to remove everything, and I had to go out of my comfort zone a little bit, really, because I really wanted something more abstract than I'm used to. But in fact, that was very nice in this case to be so strictly art directed, because there was really a good idea. So once we got the idea, I took it from there.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know if you see this on the paperback, like the little basilisk head. I think.
Yes.
Is that on the paperback too? Yeah. So I managed to squeeze in a bit of detail there. So it's just, and here you see a little garden gate at the end with the maze. But yeah, of course, a lot of sketching goes before the final rendering. So I don't know exactly how much, but I don't know. I do most of the time. I start in pencil and sort of take it from there, because I generally work very intuitively. So I have a hard time sitting in meetings and talking about something. I have to draw it. Then I have ideas. So because I work in a visual medium, so I have to have a pencil in my hand, and then I start to think. But I'm not very good conceptually. As an idea guy, I have to draw.
Drawing.
And then from a drawing, I get more ideas.
Okay.
Can you tell us about your comic book series, Gunsman?
Gutsman. That's what I started out. Those are all from. I started in. I think the first one is from '93 already. I did it until 2004, I think. That was It's I think they're all out of print now. I think they sort of virally found their way all over the world, and you find them in the funniest places. But I think they were also sold in Spain, but you have to really look for them. I think that's really old work. So, but it was a superhero spoof, silent comic without words. I think I did about 10 issues, and then I called it quits. It's not dead, but I don't know if I will go back to it. It was a different part of my life, so yes. But I'm still doing comics. My last book was. I have two titles in Spain with. I think one title in Spain from 2012 with La Cúpula in Barcelona.
Yeah.
That's called, in Spanish, it's called Desde el Más Allá or something, I think.
Yes.
And it's a compilation of H.P. Lovecraft stories I did. And then my second one is In the Pines. Those are murder ballads. I think we just signed a contract with Norma,
yeah.
I think they will do that, but negotiations have been going on. It's already from 2016, so they've promised, and but that's doing business in southern half of Europe, so it's always takes a lot of time. But my third book is a Viking story that was out last year, or no, 2 years ago, in 2019. So I don't think that's out in Spanish yet. It's out in French and in German.
In German.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called The Exile. I don't know what the Spanish title will be. El Exilo or something. I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you will see.
It's a western, but it's set in medieval Iceland. So it's a proto-western of 1,000 years ago. But of course, people in Iceland were frontiersmen in the Middle Ages. So because they live on the edge of civilization, so it's a story about revenge and very dark Viking story. Mm-hmm. But that was received pretty well, so I really enjoyed doing that. And I'm working on a new story now. It's going to be a gothic horror story that's set in the Netherlands. I wanted to do something that's because I did a lot of stories that are in the past, and I wanted to do something that's playing now. Mm-hmm. So, but I like dark tales, so I always tend to steer towards dark, sinister tales. I think happy tales are very, very boring. So, yeah, I mean, boy meets girl and they get married and they're very happy. So la la la, and end of story. It's just happy people are very boring. So you have to make people, and yet I start out with making characters and then destroying the characters, because then you have if you, for instance, take my Viking. He was in exile and he returns home, but he has a incredible chip on his shoulder because he feels very guilty because he killed his childhood friend, his brother. So you immediately have a story, and the story comes from there. So I don't really write plots. I mean, plot-driven stories are fantastic, but that's not what I do. I like to make stories out of characters. So I try to make characters and then give them something painful or a trauma, and then the story happens itself. Yeah, the characters take. It's weird, but if there's anybody watching that writes creatively, they will agree with me that characters are, when you create characters, they take up a life of their own. It's like they're already there. You just have to tell their story, and it's strange how that works, but it really works that way. Yeah, and that's what I really started exploring. I'm 54 now, so I still have the feeling that I'm always beginning, because every project is different, and I really like doing long stories. It's really something I've discovered. I have to be 54 to discover that I'm really very good at it, actually, and I like it. So hopefully I'll be doing that for the coming time. And apart from writing comics, because producing comics is very hard, because nobody will pay you, because it's incredibly expensive. And in Holland, comics no publisher will pay you, because it's very hard to make the money you invest in it. So I make money with the books, but I have to do comics in between illustration jobs. But I like both. If I would do only comics, I'd be crazy probably, or dead. Because it's a very antisocial way of working. Yeah. But illustration is completely different. You have to deal with different clients, different situations, and so I like the balance. I really keeps, yes, because I get a lot of illustration work through my comics, and vice versa. So my comics are my playground. I can experiment because there's no boss. It's just me. My publisher will publish everything I make, so that's no problem. So I can just fool around and play with things. But of course, in illustration work, that's impossible because you always have the limits of the magazine or record cover and the wishes. Somebody wants this and that, but usually it goes, that's a nice page from your comic. Can you draw me something like this for my magazine? And then I say sure. And then they say, what is the cost? And then I say what I charge, and then they never call me back. No, that's not true. But no, I'm a dinosaur because I work for print. So and since I started like 30 years ago, I've been hearing that print is dead. So but I'm still here and I'm still doing the same thing. So, and if you ever believe that print is dead and books are dead, you should go to Frankfurt and visit the Boekmesse, because then you immediately realize that it's a load of bullshit people tell you, because that's incredible. So if you ever feel insecure that people won't buy books, you should go there, because there are thousands of books. It's incredible from all over the world. It's the biggest book fair in the world, in Frankfurt.
Oh, right.
Which is not really a place for me as an author, but it's really very good because everything is there for the book business. Publishers, authors, illustrators, paper merchants, printers. It's for everybody. But it's incredible. And if anybody tells you print is dead, it's a lot of bullshit, because it's not. And I think books will be around for hundreds of years.
I think so as well.
But, yes, but at the same time, books are a niche market. But I believe that I've noticed that if you make a good production and a nice paper and nice covers, then people will really buy your book. Although it may be expensive, they really want it. Yeah. Because it's just a present. It feels nice, it smells nice, it looks nice. But if you print something cheaply because you want to save money, then people treat it like shit. It
won't be the same.
Yes, and I'm very happy to have a publisher that has the same opinion. Mm-hmm. So it's always because my books, I want them. I have certain wishes when it goes to production, but because we have a very small language area, we have Flanders and we have the Netherlands, and that's it. And I think graphic novels is only 0.5% of all book sales in the Netherlands, so it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So we I'm very happy to be published all over the world. That's the only thing to go. The only way to go if you do comics in the Netherlands, you have to look abroad because we are so small, and nobody cares about comics in the Netherlands. It's such a small market.
Well, it's a shame. Yeah.
But no, it's also cool. I think if comics were too mainstream in the Netherlands, I wouldn't make them. I think I wouldn't have started out. Because the good thing is that there is no comparison. You fly completely below critical radar. For instance, if I would be a literary author, you would be standing on the shoulders of giants, and everybody would be looking at across your shoulder, and there would be a lot of discussion about your work. And is this better than his last novel, or does he come from a certain style? There's a lot of precedent for literary works. But comics, nobody cares about comics. I get invited. I got invited sometimes to literary festivals, and for instance in France. Mm-hmm. And in France, everybody says, comics, of course. But the Dutch authors, they don't know. What are you doing here? What, comics? What? Is there such a thing as Dutch comics? They don't even know it exists. But it's also a good thing, because then you are free. You are completely free to do what you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's what I do. I love doing it, and I want to keep doing it for a long time. So hopefully,
Hopefully you can.
So I'm one of the lucky few that can make a good living out of it. So.
Well, that's great.
My wife has a good job. Also, that's also important. Especially now because of the corona, it's been a bit hard finding work here and there. But you know, I haven't known it any other way. It's ups and downs. So I just better. The only thing now is I have a mortgage and I have a kid and I have a family. So that's the only thing. But you know, it's the best profession in the world as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'm happy about it.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Yes. One more. You were the winner in 2008 of the prize annual Scripts chap. Could you be?
It's an award that's impossible to pronounce for foreigners. It's called the Stripschap-prijs.
Right.
With the typical Dutch clunk.
Yes, I read it and I thought, wow.
But you guys know in Spain as well. You know.
Yeah. How did you feel receiving that prize?
It's the oldest award here in the Netherlands, and it doesn't involve any money. It involves it's a very, well, I don't want to deride him here on social media, but it doesn't mean anything. It's a bunch of old guys giving each other awards. So it's not a public award. It's a club that enjoys comics and gives awards. So I think everybody that makes comics in Holland will get it eventually.
Oh, right.
But it was a great honor. But I would rather have an award that says you get 50,000 euros or something. You know what I mean?
Well, yes. If you win a prize, have a good prize.
This was just a lame statue and a dinner in a very bad restaurant. So.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that because it's been around for so long, it really generates a lot of attention and PR. So you're in national television and national newspapers, and that's of course the biggest award because you get a lot of work from it, a lot of recognition.
Well,
so it was a great honor.
Yes. Well, that's all the questions for now.
Okay.
Yes.
ERIK, thank you for your time.
Yes. No. I was happy to talk to you guys.
Thank you.
In the future, you could come.
Lots of luck with you and your shop in these difficult times.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you. And
yeah, but I hope I will visit you guys someday. If I'm ever in the neighborhood in A Coruña, I will drop by.
Yeah, and we can invite you to dinner.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time and a pleasure meeting you.
My pleasure. Yes, likewise.
Well, take care, you and your family.
You too. Okay. Adios.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Hello.